It's almost like deja vu again. For the past 3 or 4 years, Los Angeles Clippers enter the playoffs as a favorite, but with one heavy caveat: Kawhi Leonard's health. Remember in 2023 when he erupted for 38 points in Game 1 against the Phoenix Suns, looking like the second coming of 96 Jordan, only to go down the next game with a meniscus tear in his right knee. Well, last year, when the Clippers hoped he could return to the lineup in the first round against the Dallas Mavericks, only to be left being benched because of inflammation in his knee. We know he's a silent assassin, almost robotic or cyborg-like in his expression and unreadable at times, while absolutely surgically carving teams into tiny pieces when his knee and body decide to work in tandem and allow him to stay on the floor. Once again, it looks like the Clippers' postseason relies heavily on his health, but one thing seems evident. Healthy Kawhi Leonard might be the scariest player in the league heading into a pivotal showdown with another contender in the Denver Nuggets. His quiet consistency goes overlooked by the flash and flare of new Laker Luka Doncic or Old Man River himself, LeBron James. His name and narrative doesn't hold the same weight as SGA's phenomenal MVP caliber season with arguably the best team in basketball at the time. He's not putting up the stats that are rewriting the history books like Nikola Jokic, and his team isn't in as much turmoil and drama as a Serbian Nugget. But one thing is true, him on the court is a nightmare for any and all of those players just mentioned. Look no further than last night against the Denver Nuggets, where he shot a lights-out 15 of 19 and 57% from 3 to lead the Clippers to victory with 39 points. And that brings me to this assessment. When someone calls you the next, it holds meaning. If you're the next Magic Johnson, that means you're a phenomenal floor general that makes defenses look slow and out of whack, while your teammates flourish from your precision passing. If you're the next Shaq, you're one of the single most dominant players on the court, extremely hard to slow down or completely stop. But if you're the next Michael Jordan, that means you have potential to be amongst the greats or greatest. It holds more weight than any other name. So with that said, is healthy Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs the reincarnation of Michael Jeffrey Jordan? But first, if you enjoy NBA breakdowns and analysis, please subscribe to the channel. We are working for that 2,000 sub mark and can't do it without you guys. Also, check out the GOATcast podcast, streaming live every week with guests and some wild takes. Thank you, and now let's get into this. Let's look at some numbers. The top is Kawhi Leonard, the bottom is Michael Jordan throughout his championship runs. Now, of course, Kawhi hasn't sniffed the conference finals in a while and has only played a very few amount of games the last few years. But when he does play, he's easily been either the best or one of the best players on the court. His efficiency when compared to Jordan shows that he is making shots at a slightly higher clip, and his three-point shooting has been a valuable asset. 2023-2024 aside, he's hovered around 50% on field goals and steadily rising in three-point percentage, even shooting 60% in 2023. And out of 6 of those playoffs runs, 4 of them he averaged 30 points per game or more. The problem is, the last 3 seasons, counting this one, he's only played 2 games in the postseason. A small sample size for sure, but looking at the prior 3 seasons, one of which he led the Toronto Raptors to the NBA championship and helped the Los Angeles Clippers get to the conference finals in 2021, although he was injured in round 2, his numbers are extremely solid with a 10-game minimum. While Jordan's numbers mostly eclipse Kawhi's, especially points-wise, you can see that both were doing heavy lifting on offense and on the defensive side of the ball. With Kawhi able to match up with guys like Giannis during that time and even switch on to Jokic at moments so far in this postseason, something Michael Jordan was just not capable of doing during those days. But outside of the raw stats, why is Kawhi Leonard more Michael Jordan in the playoffs than almost anyone else? One of the most obvious similarities between playoff Jordan and playoff Kawhi is their cold-blooded approach to high-pressure situations. Jordan's killer instinct is a central part of his mythology. Whether it was the shrug game, the flu game, or the last shot against Utah, MJ elevated himself when it mattered most. But Kawhi, in his quiet, emotionless way, has also developed a reputation as one of the most ruthlessly efficient playoff assassins. Kawhi's 2019 postseason is a masterclass in cold-blooded domination. His buzzer beater over Joel Embiid in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals instantly became one of the most iconic shots in NBA history. Leonard's demeanor, unbothered by pressure, stoic, amid chaos, parallels Jordan's legendary focus. Both players thrive in isolation, slow the game down, and dictate the pace on their terms.
While Jordan exuded emotion and fire, and Kawhi moves like a cyborg, the result is the same. Complete control of the game under pressure. No panic, just production. Another key similarity lies in their scoring approach. Jordan's mid-range game was his bread and butter. Whether off the dribble, out of the triple threat position, or in the post, he punished defenses from 15 to 20 feet with unparalleled consistency. Kawhi has mirrored his style, avoiding the minor three-point barrage in favor of meticulous, calculated mid-range efficiency, although he does shoot the three quite a bit nowadays. Like Jordan, Kawhi gets to his spots, rises with perfect balance, and releases with textbook mechanics. Both players thrive in half-court settings where individual skill and footwork determine outcomes. In the 2019 playoffs, Kawhi averaged 30.5 points per game on 49% shooting, heavily weighted toward mid-range and isolation play. Jordan in his playoff prime routinely averaged over 30 points per game while relying on many of the same mechanics: turnarounds, fadeaways, jab step pull-ups, and post footwork. Kawhi may not possess Jordan's sheer creativity or acrobatic flair, but he delivers the same result with robotic precision. They share an old-school back-you-down, read-and-react method of scoring that contrasts with today's faster pace-and-space systems. And in the playoffs, where transition buckets and open threes are hard to come by, this style becomes a weapon. Jordan was a Defensive Player of the Year in 1988, and Kawhi won the award in 2015 and 2016. Both players built their reputations as lockdown perimeter defenders before becoming offensive superstars. Their two-way prowess makes them postseason outliers, rare breeds who can guard the opposing team's best scorer while also carrying the offensive load. Jordan averaged over 2 steals per game in the playoffs for his career and was a defensive hound on ball handlers and wings alike. He had the quickness to keep up with guards and the strength to battle bigger players. His defensive IQ, anticipating passes, cutting off angles, was elite, although he did gamble a lot. Kawhi similarly is known for his giant hands, long wingspan, and an absurd defensive instinct. He famously neutralized LeBron James in the 2014 Finals, winning Finals MVP as a defensive ace. His ability to force turnovers, navigate screens, and absorb physicality mirrors Jordan's commitment to defense in the postseason. Importantly, both players had the mental endurance to defend without fouling, even while playing 40-plus minutes a night. This rare combination of on-ball pressure and discipline is critical in playoff basketball. The playoffs slow the game down, transition points become scarce, teams scout every play, and weaknesses are exposed. Players who can manufacture offense against set defenses rise above the rest. This is where Jordan and Kawhi thrive. Playoff Jordan was a surgeon in the half court, picking apart defenses with triangle reads, isolation footwork, and clutch shot making. Kawhi does the same in modern schemes. His patience, strength, and mastery of pacing allow him to excel when the game grinds into a rock fight. Neither player depends on quick hits or system-generated shots. They're both self-creators. Jordan used the triangle as a framework, but often deviated into one-on-one brilliance. Kawhi, even in the modern motion offenses, often slows down possessions to methodically dissect matchups. In a playoff context where each possession is gold, this type of deliberate, poised offense is invaluable. Both players proved they could carry a franchise to a title under immense pressure. Jordan's 6 championships speak for themselves, but each came through a gauntlet of Eastern Conference rivals, Pistons, Knicks, Cavs, Pacers, before dispatching Western elites. Kawhi's 2019 title with Toronto was a Jordan-esque feat. He took down the 76ers with the shot, the Bucks with Giannis, and the Warriors with Steph, Clay, and Draymond, although they were having some injury issues, while shouldering a historic offensive and defensive burden. What stands out about Kawhi's 2019 run is how much he resembled Jordan in terms of aura. When Kawhi was on the court, it felt like everything revolved around him. Defensive attention, tempo, crowd energy. Just as teams feared Jordan's every movement, Kawhi commanded the floor like a demigod. The same sense of inevitability followed both players during their peak playoff runs. Jordan and Kawhi have created some of the most iconic moments in playoff history. Jordan, the shot over Elo, the shrug game, the flu game, and his 1998 dagger over Brian Russell. Kawhi, the shot against Philly, his Game 5 takeover versus Milwaukee, and his Finals MVP against LeBron's Heat in 2014. As a role player turned finals assassin, these moments define their legacies, not just in statistics, and cinematic clutch performance that lives forever. Kawhi is not Michael Jordan. No one is. Jordan's longevity, scoring titles, and global cultural impact place him in a tier of his own. But in terms of playoff play style, mentality, and two-way mastery, playoff Kawhi represents perhaps the closest modern analog to playoff MJ. Both dominate in the mid-range. Both take pride in defense. Both elevate their play under pressure. Both win on their terms. When the game slows, the margin shrinks, and legacies are forged. In clutch moments, Kawhi, like Jordan, becomes something more than a player. He becomes inevitable. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit it with a like and subscribe. Help us get to that 3,000 sub goal. Thank you, and be back with more content very soon.